So YieldMax Group D and the weekly pairs announced their distributions today, and I am completely shocked about the payout on Msty. Stick around and we're going to go over those. Hello my friends, this is Legend. So today YieldMax announced their distributions for Group D. And in Group D we have AIYY, AMSI, Aptly, DISO, HIYY, which is a new one, and that one will be a option-based strategy on HIMS. Then we got Msty, SMCY, Winter, XYZY, YQQQ. Then we'll also have the weekly pairs, which is CHPY, GPTY, LFGY, QDTY, RDTY, SDTY, SLTY, ULTY, YMAG, and YieldMax. So let's just go ahead and jump right over into those announcement sheets and see what they're going to pay out. All right, so here we are looking at the announcement sheet for YieldMax, and this is for September the 24th. And this is for Group D and the weekly pairs. Now, FYI, I do have a few announcements for Defiance and RoundHill that we will go over right after this. So let's just start right off with the weekly pairs right here with CHPY, 41 cents, GPTY with 36 cents, LFGY, 51 cents, and that's a 73% distribution rate. Very nice. QDTY with 17 cents, RDTY with 29 cents, SDTY with 15 cents, SLTY with 62 cents, and that's a 75% distribution rate. Then we've got ULTY with that 9 cents for an 85% distribution rate. No shocker there, right? YMAG with 15 cents at a 50% distribution rate. That's pretty good. But YieldMax with 8 cents for a 33% distribution rate. Not so great, right? A little bit on the downside for YieldMax. Now we can move on to the ones that pay every 4 weeks, and these are the ones part of Group D. So we'll start right off with AIYY for 13 cents, AMSI 46 cents at a 40% distribution rate, Aptly with 35 cents, and DISO with 21 cents. And hallelujah, we got $1.0105 for Msty. We made it above $1. Still keeping it above that $1. So excited about that. Cannot wait to get that plugged into my spreadsheet. How about you? Were you all prepared for that less than $1? I know I was. So excited to see that they gave us just over $1 for Msty. Super excited. SMCY with 91 cents for a 73% distribution rate. Very nice. Then we've got Winter for $3.29. Oh my goodness. That's a 125% distribution rate. Wow. That one has just knocked it out of the park, which does make sense because Mr. has been dropping, right? So it only makes sense that Winter, which shorts Mr., would be going up, right? So it only makes sense. XYZY with 27 cents and YQQQ for 21 cents. Now we had some pretty nice ones in here, didn't we? That Winter just knocked it out of the park. And so excited about that 85% distribution rate to give us a little over $1. So excited there. And of course, SMCY, 91 cents. And that will be my first one to be able to enter into my spreadsheet for SMCY. And of course, next week will be Group A. We'll have the weekly pairs along with BRKC, Crash, Feet, Fivey, GUI, OARC, RBLY, RDYY, Snowy, Tesla, TSMY, Zomo, and YBit. So throw in the comments in there, what was your thought on Msty? What did you think we were going to get? Did you think it was going to be under $1? Because I have to be honest, I thought it was very possible, but I was hoping that they were going to at least give us that dollar to keep us on the bright side, right? Let's just go ahead and check out the Defiance funds and see what they're going to pay out this week. And here we are on the Defiance funds. And as you can see, this will also pay out on Friday with the X date tomorrow. So we'll start right off with GLDY, which is off of gold, for 12 cents. IWMY, which is the Russell 2000, for 36 cents. QQQY, which is the NASDAQ 100, for 19 cents. USOY, which is an option play off of oil, for 9 cents. And WDTE, which is off the S&P 500, for 20 cents. Now out of these, I have IWMY, QQQY, and WDTY. Now let's just go ahead and pull up the RoundHill and let's see what they've paid out. Here we are on RoundHill, and as you can see, the first one being XDTE, which is the S&P 500 for RoundHill, and that's 16 cents. QDTE off the Innovation 100, and that pays out 20 cents. And then the Russell 2000 for RDTE, which would be 19 cents. Now the X date for this one is tomorrow, and the payout will be Friday as well. Now as you can see, they do note that the gross expense ratio is 0.97%. Now let's go ahead and just check out to see what price Msty and ULTY actually ended up with for today. All right, so here we are on ULTY, and you can see that we did come down today. We came down to about 562 for the day, so that is about 2 cents down on the day. Now let's flip it over to the adjusted chart and let's check out the indicators. All right, so here we are on the indicators, and as you can see on the adjusted chart, we are at the top of that Bollinger Band, right? And you can see the momentum is coming down a little bit. That MACD is starting to come and want to try to intersect that signal line right here. So hopefully we can get a little bit more of an update and start getting this to turn back around. But if it does continue to come down, we might get that cross on the downside and start coming back down toward the middle of the Bollinger Band here, which is around a price of 547. Now we do have the bottom of that Bollinger Band sitting at 523. So if we do come down and we actually go down and we want to go to the bottom of that Bollinger Band, what will happen? Well, the first thing that will happen is it will cross over my $5.30 and it'll purchase me 25 more shares, right? But that's only if we are coming on down. But if not, we might get to the midpoint of that Bollinger Band, hang out a little bit, and then start moving back up. So we'll just see what the rest of this week brings us. Let's just go ahead and check out Msty. All right, so here we are on Msty, and I've got the actual chart on here. And as before, we had our resistance line and we've got our support line right here. And you can see it is just wanting to stay in here somewhere. The bottom of our support line is around 1484. And then we've got the top of that resistance line at about 1582. We did come down today. We came down about 23 cents. So that closes us out at $15.18. Now let's just go ahead and flip it over to the adjusted chart and let's look at the indicators for Msty. All right, so here we are looking at the Bollinger Band on the adjusted chart for Msty. And you can see the Bollinger Band is still tightening up. With that red day today, it did drop it down below the midpoint of that Bollinger Band. So we are toward the bottom of that Bollinger Band. And also note, look at this, the RSI 2 did drop below 10. So if I was looking to buy, I probably would be buying at this point, right? If you would have bought today before 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, then you would also earn that distribution. But better yet, it may even been better to wait until tomorrow and just be able to buy it at an even lower price, right? Because that distribution of $1 is going to come out of that price, which is going to drop Msty down to the $14 range, right? the low $14 range. So we're definitely going to need Msty to move it on back up. But the only way Msty can move it back up is if we can get Mr. to move on up. And speaking of Mr., let's check out Mr. and let's see where it's sitting at the resistance / support lines. All right, so here we are looking at Mr. And this is that little support line that we had in here. And it looks like we did close below it, right? But we are still running through it, so that is not a confirmed candle below that support line. Right here is that red line. That's the MA200 right here. Now that's the line that we need to get above. But currently, Mr. has been moving down, right? But as you can see, that RSI2 right here is just about to cross that 10. And let's just see where it's at on the Bollinger Band while we're looking at this. And there it is. We are close to the bottom of that Bollinger Band. So tomorrow, if it is down just a little bit, it's very possible that that RSI2 will be below 10 and we'll be on the bottom half of that Bollinger Band for sure. And then I can purchase a couple more shares. Now, I could have purchased them already, right? As my average cost right now is $355.46. So that would have helped bring that down. But eventually, if Bitcoin can take back off, I believe Mr. will too. So while we're down, I've been gathering up a few shares and hoping that Mr. or strategy can hold it together and not throw out news that can cause the stock of Mr. to drop, right? But I'll just keep it at that. I wanted to just do an announcement video about the YieldMax ETFs that did announce today, along with RoundHill and Defiance funds. And then just wanted to do a quick look at the charts on ULTY and Msty just to see where it's going to be setting come tomorrow. ULTY will drop 9 cents, of course, but hopefully in the pre-market we can build that back up. And Msty will drop that $1.01, but I'm hoping that one we can get moving back up as well. But we'll see what tomorrow brings us and what that price or opening price will be for Msty. So I think I'll wrap it up right there. If you don't mind, hit that subscribe button, smash the like button. It'd be much appreciated. And as always, I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence before you get into any stock plays. And until next time, Legend out.